What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, December 20th, 5 days until Christmas. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to all. So the market came down today. Actually, we had a new development, and it's something that perhaps we should prepare ourselves for. But before I talk about that, yesterday I kind of alluded to the fact that, well, two things. Number one, the market was really stretched on the upside, and this was, at least my explanation was that it was a very large liquidation that was going on. And by liquidation, basically I'm talking about short covering. There was a massive short position in the market that had been there for a long time because of the monetarist zombies who were bearish over the entire, last 22 months, 21 months based on Fed rate hikes. I talked about this guy, Mike Wilson, who was the perma bear at Morgan Stanley, throwing in the towel the other day saying, now is the time you can buy. And you started to see anecdotal evidence like that. So what sometimes needs to happen in those situations where you have, kind of like a move in the market that really is kind of, it's like a panic or something. I wouldn't even use the word panic, but, this kind of almost technical condition where the market is unwinding what was a bubble or a wrong view or something of that nature. And it runs out of fuel at a certain point because once all those shorts or the majority of those short positions are covered, that's the buying power that now has been removed from the market. And then sometimes it takes a catalyst to trigger the reaction, what really is the normal reaction in the other direction. When you lose that buying power or when you lose the selling power, it's going to snap back. It's like stretching a rubber band, really, really far and then letting it come back. You need sometimes a catalyst. Yesterday I talked about how I said, it was funny because I said this reminded me of early 2020, January 2020, where I was bearish based on the flows, and it just kept going up, and you had a lot of people back then who formerly were really bearish on the market kind of capitulating and throwing in the towel and saying, now you got to buy, it's going to be incredible, everybody should rush in. And we already had this big move up, but then now they felt safe to go in and buy, right? I always say, you have to train your behavior. You have to when it goes down, you should be really excited. Like any consumer. You can buy these high quality companies, Apple and Amazon and Google and Microsoft and all these big names and Walmart and things like that when they're on sale. These companies are not going to die out. These are leaders in their industry, etc. I don't want to digress here, but you know what I'm talking about. When it goes down, you should be excited. But the opposite is true on the part of investors. When it goes up, they're excited. Can you imagine, sending an email to Amazon? I said this before, Amazon, I really love your service. I love the fact, or, your prices are really, really low, but I really want to pay higher prices. That's the behavior. Anyway, so the catalyst, and I said I was going to talk about this, the catalyst today, I think, was the FedEx earnings report, it was their guidance, and it was a slowdown in sales. And basically, what they were talking about was, or what they were reflecting or discovering or exposing, was the fact that we had a slowdown in economic growth in the fourth quarter. And I've been telling you guys that. I've said it's not going to lead to a recession, but the fourth quarter, what happened in the fourth quarter? We got hit with those student loan debt payments. They started up again. It's sucking about, 72 billion annually from spending. And so we got hit with those student loan payments. So we had to slow down from what was third quarter. I think it was like almost 6%, 5.6. Fourth quarter is estimated like at 2.4 or something like that. So pretty significant, about a 50% slowdown in economic growth. And FedEx's numbers reflected that. Now remember, I always said that the stock market follows the economy, not the other way around. Like the stock market's been on its own trajectory. And again, that was a technical condition. That was an unwinding of this deeply large embedded short position. And it ran out of steam. And then, the market got hit with a dose of reality where FedEx said, hey, things are slowing down. But I told you that things are going to slow down. And again, once again, I will repeat, the market follows the economy, not the other way around. A lot of people think, I think most people think the market leads it. It does not lead the economy. If the economy is growing, the market's going to go up. If it's growing very fast, the market's going to go up very fast. If it's growing slow, the market's going to go up slow. If the economy is contracting, what's called a recession, the market's going to go down. If it's contracting very, very rapidly, like we saw in the pandemic, initially went down really, really hard. All right, so the market follows the economy. Now, here's what I want to tell you. We're going to get more earnings reports next month in January for the fourth quarter. And I would not be surprised. As a matter of fact, I would advise that you prepare yourself for more earnings reports like the FedEx report, which reflect a slower growth in the economy and therefore a slower growth in profits. And what's going to happen? You're going to see a correction from this significantly overbought condition where I think now a big part, if not all, of these of this short position that had been embedded in the market for the last 21 months, I think a lot of that short position has been liquidated, which is the same thing as saying technically that a lot of that buying power has been removed. Now, is there still going to be positive fiscal flows? Remember, the overarching, that's positive, and that's going to stay positive. But again, I'll bring you back to this point where some of you, you were upset with me, you're calling me a liar, all kinds of names, because it didn't happen at the exact day. Pretty much it did. I mean, it was like 2-3 days later. But a friend of mine emailed me and he said, Mike, when the market's behavior deviates from the fundamentals, what I do is I stay patient. That's a very, very smart person who said that. Okay? You got to stay patient. I mean, to expect something to turn on a dime, you got to give it a window. There are things like every single day, there can be things happening in the market that are totally unrelated to fundamental situations. I could recount many stories to you from my days when I was a floor trader where the market moved because some big player was either unwinding a position or putting on a position. And the market went haywire against what the trend was, or what, let's call it the underlying fundamentals. Some big player in the market was doing some operation and it was enough to make something happen. Now to attach some significance to that other than what it actually is, a big player, making a move that day and pushing the market around. I mean, I could tell you a personal story, but I don't want to go there because maybe it's gonna get me in trouble. But I personally have a story like that, okay? but I'm not going to recount it here. So you have to, like this guy said, he's absolutely correct. I mean, you got to be patient. And this is a lesson that I've tried to convey to you guys so many times, this idea of patience. Very, very important. Uh-oh, there goes my smoke alarm. Got to talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm cooking. Bye.